Welcome back to The Heat. Ahsan Iqbal, Pakistan's Minister for Planning and Development, believes the China-Pakistan economic corridor could create some 2 million new jobs in Pakistan and bring prosperity to a whole region. China is investing some $50 billion in energy, transportation and infrastructure. Let's get back to our panel right now. And Farwa, let me start with you this time. I mean, when you look at a project of this magnitude, we sometimes get lost in the numbers and the projects that are being developed. But when we look at the tangible benefits to the Pakistani people, what kind of impact is CPEC going to have on the job market?
Well, it's going to have an enormous impact on job market. Pakistan job market, due to CPEC, it has seen an expansion. Our real estate industry, our retail industry, it has experienced such an increase that it has never experienced before. For example, you see there's a small project. I won't say there's a small project, it's a large project. It was third project, a coal-powered third project, which was carried out by Third Anglo company. Here, due to this project, the local Tharis, which otherwise could not have imagined to work in these areas, they are working on it. And according to CEO of Thar SEMC, he says that it is going to be a game changer for Thar and other business community as well. So there are a lot of opportunities that CPEC is creating indirectly and directly. When roads are built, business prop up. And when you see Pakistan has enormous potential in knowledge economy. You see Pakistani software, they have been hired, they have been ranked as, they have been hired by companies, by USA, Australia and other IT developers. So we can use this potential. And for Dawn reports recently that by 2030, CPEC will create 1 million jobs by 2030. It's an enormous potential for the potential reservoir of Pakistan that we have today. But due to the limited options that we had before, we would not be able to compensate this potential reservoir. But with this, it is going a lot. It is improving a lot, and people are seeing benefits to it. In Gwadar, people are buying land. They are acquiring lands, and this is in all the projects. For example, in special economic zone, the rates of property, it has increased. It is all because of CPEC, and people are getting benefits from it. So it's a huge opportunity.
Andrew, one quick question on the job market in Pakistan. How important is it for foreign investors when they look at Pakistan as an area where they want to put their money to have this pool of qualified talent, people who can fill these jobs that they're providing?
Well, I mean, there is then a question on some of the CPEC projects. What kind of labor do you need for right. some of these projects? So, I mean, the first phase of CPEC is largely the energy projects and the infrastructure projects. There's actually a pretty decent pool there for a number of those projects. The next phase, which is the industrial parks and things, there's actually a lot of planning underway at the moment as well to do more training in some of the specific skills that are needed for some of the new businesses that are supposed to come online, even language training, of course, which is taking off in Pakistan as well. And so I think, I mean, there is a large pool of talented labor in Pakistan, but there are some specialist skills that need to be developed. There are still challenges in the education system in Pakistan that need to be addressed to really be able to make a success of this venture.
Haiyun Ma, the Chinese government recently announced that it will be investing nearly $27 billion to create a highway network in Xinjiang province. This, of course, is an expanding transportation network in that particular region. It's a very remote region, but it forms a large part of China. What will this do for China and Pakistan and for CPEC?
If you want to have a successful CPEC between China and Pakistan, of course, you have to build Chinese domestic transportation system. As you know, Xinjiang actually is divided by the Tengri Mountain, the
right.
Tian Shan Mountain. So Xinjiang is basically divided as north and south. So that's why you have to build good infrastructure, transportation system.
And at the moment, there is just one major transportation link.
Well, you do have like airport, you do have like railways, you do have like a road. But think about if you have a large quantity of products from Pakistan to transport to interior China, you have to cross either Taklamakan Desert or from south to North Xinjiang. So that's why you have to build a Xinjiang infrastructure transportation first, then connect it with Pakistan. So that's why we see the holistic upgrading our building of infrastructure, not only in Pakistan, between Pakistan and China, but also in China, especially Xinjiang province.
Okay, Andrew, this growing relationship between Pakistan and China, what does it mean for the United States?
I mean, the United States, despite, I think, some rumors about its attitude to CPEC and some of these projects, has largely been supportive of this. The US had been asking for a number of years, actively encouraging China to invest more in the sorts of energy projects and things that are being undertaken under the auspices of CPEC. The US had wanted to expand the level of civilian support that it was providing. The Kerry-Lugar bill was supposed to do a lot of that, but it's dwarfed in scale by the kind of investment that's coming in from the Chinese side now. And a lot of the US officials knew they would never be able to put together the sort of package that's being envisaged by this. So quietly, because there are the sensitivities, as you mentioned, with India, which is a close partner, of course, for the US, I think quietly, there's a level of cooperation and coordination that's underway on that. During President Obama's visit to the Hangzhou summit, in the joint statement that was agreed, although Pakistan isn't mentioned formally, there is a section that is specifically about clean energy cooperation on CPEC projects. Now, with the new Trump administration, of course, as with so many other policy areas, we don't yet know how this will pan out. But in terms of the sort of long-term arc of how, say, the US bureaucracy has looked at this, I think this is the form of cooperation between China and Pakistan, unlike, there are areas of sensitivity on the military side, but this form of economic cooperation, I think for the sake of Pakistan's long-term stability, the US is pleased to see this.
And Farwa, how does the Pakistanis see this? Is it a bit of a balancing act for Pakistan? Do they see it that way, that they want to expand this relationship with China, a regional partner, as well as keep the relationship, or perhaps expand the relationship with the United States as well?
Yes, why not? United States can help us a lot, and this is what we have been looking for, for decades. What our slogan was, trade, not aid. Well, but you see that United States can help us a lot. It can help us build a knowledge corridor that we needed, and we are planning to build it with the US. So in special economic zones, we can build universities. We can use our potential reservoir in it. So a lot United States can help, but all it needed to make us self-sufficient and help us develop and improve along this path that we are expecting to be on. So there are other, I say that in technological expert, and there are other expertise that United States can provide to us. There are a lot many things that United States can help.
So what is the level of Chinese military and security cooperation with Pakistan?
I think China is one of the major security and military partner of Pakistan. We have been supplying tremendous ammunition to Pakistani side. And also China is trying to help Pakistan in some other platform, like Pakistan is now a member of Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And this platform will provide Pakistan with different like anti-terrorism operations. And also China, Pakistan, and even America are working to this anti-terrorism operations in the region. Just last week, we see the joint military exercises organized by Pakistan, participated by China, America, and other countries.
Haiyun Ma, one question, and this is a bit of a philosophical question. China refrains from making political judgments in its relationships with other countries, believing that the way to meet global challenges is through economic development.
Yes.
Is that something that is catching on around the world?
Well, I think the Chinese developmental approach now began to CPEC, One Belt, One Road initiative, I think basically try to project Chinese developmental approach. Pakistan is a good example, where you have terrorism, you have tribal, you have central government, conflict. So that's why if you have a successful CPEC, if you have a successful economic restoration to transfer Pakistan from a disorderly society, if you will, to a successful economy, then China benefit, Pakistan neighbors will benefit, and the whole region will benefit. So that's why here I think a CPEC is basically it's kind of implementation of China's development approach.
Okay, that's where we have to leave it. Thanks to all of you for being with us.